Mitt Romney began his official presidential campaign on Thursday with a scathing attack on President Obama's handling of the economy, saying, quote, Barack Obama has failed America. This morning, the former Massachusetts governor joins us from Manchester, New Hampshire. Sir, good to have you with us.
Thanks, Erica. Good to be with you.
You, of course, want to take on President Obama in this race. There are a number of other Republicans, though, who would like to do that as well, and you're going to need to get past them. Your party didn't choose you in 2008. What makes you think it's going to be different now in 2012 and that you are, in fact, the right nominee for the Republican Party?
You know, back in 2008, the issue that really motivated our voters at the primary time was Iraq, whether the surge would work. And John McCain very wisely made that the centerpiece of his campaign. That was in his wheelhouse. He did a great job. But this year, at this time, the American people recognize that what's happening in the economy is the most important thing that America faces. We got 16 million people without work or have stopped looking for work. We've got home values continuing to decline, record levels of foreclosure. The president said if we let him borrow $787 billion, he'd keep unemployment below 8%. We're now in the third year with unemployment above 8%. The economy is the issue people are concerned about, and that's where I've spent my time. I've had a real job in the real economy. I want to bring those skills to America.
And you are running on those business credentials. In 2008, you said, and I'm quoting, we should let Detroit go bankrupt. Today, though, the industry is clearly on the rebound. 115,000 jobs added. Money is being paid back. The president, of course, is in Ohio today, highlighting Chrysler. You also accused the president yesterday of making the recession worse. But based on what we've seen in the auto industry, weren't you wrong in this case? Wasn't it right for both the auto industry and for the American economy to help that industry?
Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding the word bankrupt. Bankruptcy, as you understand, is not liquidation of an enterprise. It's allowing an enterprise to go through the bankruptcy courts so that they can reorganize and come out stronger. And that's precisely what finally happened. When I wrote that piece, the auto industry was asking for a bailout. We were unwise just to send billions of dollars. Instead, finally, the president recognized I was right.
So you're saying the president
took the company, in the case of General Motors.
So you're saying the president took
the company finally went through bankruptcy, went through a managed bankruptcy, came out of bankruptcy, and now is recovering. So look, the right process for an enterprise in trouble is not to be given free money from the taxpayers with a bailout. It's instead to go through a bankruptcy process, reorganize their debts, reduce their cost, and come out stronger.
But the companies actually went through bankruptcy. But so the companies actually had to go through bankruptcy before that bailout.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The headline you read, which is said, let Detroit go bankrupt, points out that those companies needed to go through bankruptcy to shed those costs. And the federal government put in, I think, $17 billion into those companies before they finally recognized, yeah, they need to go bankrupt, to go through that process so that they're able to get rid of their excess costs.
So then, just to be clear, so then are you saying that the president took your plan? I'm trying to follow here, because they did actually go through bankruptcy in 2009. You called the whole process of everything that was happening tragic. You said it was a sad circumstance for the country, but yet it's turned out fairly positive, a lot of folks would say, especially in Detroit.
Erica, I think you're misunderstanding. What I wrote early on was absolutely right. I said these companies shouldn't be given money up front by the federal government, like they were, by the way, both by President Bush and by President Obama. Instead, they should go through a bankruptcy process, and if they did, they could come out stronger and well. And that's precisely what ultimately happened. So I'm very proud of the fact that, in fact, we called it like it was, and that is these companies needed to go through a bankruptcy process, come out through bankruptcy, go back to work, get jobs for the people who would otherwise have lost jobs if these companies just trailed on down. And by the way, we could have saved billions of dollars had we moved to bankruptcy from the very beginning.
Let's talk about jobs specifically, because you've also said the country needs a president who first and foremost knows how to create jobs. Many Americans want to see job creation, of course. Can you give me a specific example of one industry, one sector, where as president you would have a plan to go in and in fact show job creation? Let's say 1,000 jobs. How and where would you make that happen?
Well, it's throughout the entire economy. What government does, it either makes it easier for entrepreneurs and employers to grow and hire people, or it makes it harder. And what this president has done on almost every dimension has made it less likely for entrepreneurs to be able to grow jobs. So here's what I do. Number one, bring down our corporate and employer tax rates to be competitive with the world. Number two, make our regulatory and bureaucratic burden lower so that we're in a more attractive place to invest. Number three, adjust our trade policies so that trade is favorable to the U.S., not just to the people who sell goods here. Number 4, make sure that we become energy independent. Sending $500 billion outside of our economy makes no sense at all. Number 5, get our schools to be world class. Number 6, get the federal government to stop spending more money than it takes in. That kills the value long term of our dollar. People won't invest and create jobs if they think the dollar won't be worth anything down the road. That's the kind of model we have to get back to work. And by the way, I spent my life in the private sector, 25 years. I know how we compete globally. I know when we're losing. And right now, this president has put us on a road of economic decline. Just look at the numbers. Look what's happening to Americans.
Governor Mitt Romney, we're going to have to leave it there. We have cut into a little more time than we were allotted. We appreciate your time this morning, sir, and we'll be talking again over the next few months. Thanks again.
Thanks, Erica.